How do I get people's attention? Question mark. I was constantly making LP videos, but it's hard to stay motivated when you get no feedback. Also, love the vids, been around since Amplified. Not critical. Thank you for first of all, for cheers and bits, but for a specific question. This is what I like to answer, okay? Sometimes people say, hey, I do YouTube, got any tips? And it's like, well, you know, the internet is vying for your attention on how to be successful on YouTube. There is no shortage of channels that will tell you how to do YouTube all day long. But if you want to ask a specific question, I can give you a valuable insight. So basically, the LP market is heavily saturated, okay? There is no shortage of LPs out there to consume. So if you want to get noticed, you have to stand apart from the crowd. But standing apart from the crowd isn't enough. You kind of need like to spark the flame to get going, which can be very tough if you're doing a Let's Play because it's a heavily saturated market. If you like find a form of content you can create that not many others or no one else is making, gives you a lot better of a chance that when you get eyeballs on what you're doing, they'll stick around or they'll be more interested because what you're doing is unique. So what I suggest doing is, first of all, if an LP is what you really, really want to do, then you're going to have some other sort of content to get eyeballs on you and then bring people over to your Let's Play. That is how I got started with Hermitcraft in a big way. My first Let's Play and my Hermitcraft series had eyeballs from the get-go because I built my channel around tutorials. Now, tutorials are something that people always need. It's also a heavily saturated and competitive market, but it also revolves around SEO, which is search engine optimization. This is where people go to YouTube and search for something, and search is honestly probably a really great way to get a channel going if you don't have connections. Let's say you know some people who can give you a shout out, bring a few people your way, get your channel a bit of a kickstart, then that's cool. But if you don't, search is probably your best bet. People are going to search for stuff and you want them to look at your videos. So you need to make your videos relevant to what they're searching for. So if you want to get, if like your LP, having your eyeballs on your LP is your dream, you're going to need something else to facilitate its growth. But also, you know, if your motive is you just want to make videos and be successful, like maybe you could find something different. It could be really fun to come up with a new concept that no one else is doing on YouTube and, you know, have a go at that. I have some valuable data. People rarely subscribe after watching one video. They need to regularly stumble upon your videos to subscribe and get invested. Surprise T, that is absolutely true, yeah. In this day and age, there's a lot of hustle hard, putting out the calls to subscribe and like in front of you. I do it on occasion. I probably don't really need to, but I kind of also look at things from this perspective of like, I'm doing this for the long term, and you know, the occasional calls to subscribe and ask for likes or whatever, in the long run, you know, if they do give you more, technically they'll boost things in the long run, right? But I don't like to do it that often. If you go look up advice on YouTube, like I said, those plethora of channels that are just no shortage of telling you what to do to be successful on YouTube, a lot of them will tell you to call to subscribe, call to like. I would recommend maybe not doing that, especially if you've got really good content. Like, in a ways, you want to kind of put it there subtly, make the people think like, I want to catch more of this, as opposed to tell them they want to catch more of it. So for example, let's say you get the ball rolling, you got some really cool content, and people are starting to tune in and watch. Now, rather than say, hey, subscribe and like, what you could do is in your video, in the flow of it, in an engaging moment, sort of point out, oh, by the way, I'm also preparing this video and that one for the future. Okay, I don't know what type of content it is you're doing. Maybe it's tutorials, right? Let's say we relate it to Minecraft. You're making Minecraft tutorials. You got this Blaze Farm video, and people are going to tune in and watch it because your channel's getting going a little bit. Maybe just somewhere along the lines of that video, at an engaging point, you just mention that you're working on a magma farm tutorial, right? And it might just make someone think, oh, I'll subscribe and catch that in the future. I think thinking about presenting content in that way can be really valuable as well. In just saying, I've got the quality, and, you know, I'm going to be doing these things in the future, and it will just make people think, oh, I want to catch that, right? So then your quality is the valuable thing there. Eld MC says, I saw a video earlier about how subscription levels on YouTube may not sync with the viewing and engagement, and so they think that subscriber metric is irrelevant. I can tell you that the subscriber metric is relevant, but the reasons for it to be irrelevant, it's not a black or white thing. It's relevant, but sometimes not so much. You have different types of content and different types of channel. My channel is dominantly subscriber based when it comes to Hermitcraft, and then it's dominantly recommendation based when it comes to snapshots. What this means is that people who are subscribed to me tend to watch Hermitcraft, and people who are not subscribed tend to watch snapshot videos. Now, if I dropped doing one of those, my channel would be, mostly one thing or the other, right? So I have a mix of both. But what it tells you is that, Hermitcraft is a recurring series, a Let's Play, part of a heavily saturated market. It is not the most, I must subscribe type content, right? Because there's so much of that out there. However, it is not the most, I'm going to subscribe for this content, but people who are subscribed are catching it as it comes out in its regular format through the subscription. Now, when a weekly snapshot comes out, loads of people search for that. So it means that I get a lot of traffic through recommendations and people searching for it. So you have like two different types of audience on YouTube you can have. Surprise T says, my best performing video was a snapshot video I published before anyone else. It was also the April Fool's joke though. Yeah, so there's the old snapshot race is a way to get views. People race to get those videos out as quick as they can. And the reality is you'll get eyeballs. But if you're rushing that content out, you're not going to perhaps drive subscriptions, because you're not going to be able to produce as quality a video if you're rushing that snapshot video out. So obviously I get mine out fast, but I also have a level of quality that I aim for with each and every video. Like I basically kind of aim to cover everything with reasonable accuracy, and that obviously takes time to do, but I've got a good workflow. I know how to put the thumbnails together quickly and figure stuff out as I go. So I have both got those videos out quickly and, maintained quality on them, so to speak.